Come with me across time and space where the books of life live. Don't fear. We see movies like The Matrix, which is just an allegory of Plato's allegory of the cave, where you're in the cave being shown these images projected on the wall, and that's your only reality, and you're happy because you're in it. An example of cognitive dissonance. And so that we don't understand these great truths, they've dumbed the language down. And they believe a resistance by the public now is like a resistance of sheep revolting against the practice of eating mutton or sheep. But I know, and I believe, as we're doing twin Facebook mentions right now, this will also be uploaded to YouTube, that I'm smarter than that and that you're smarter than that. And they've dumbed the message down to dumb us down. Not that we're dumb. They admit that. There's even frontline specials on that break that down. But why am I here today? On this video, we're saying that we're revealing the secret of the universe. And over here in this live feed, we're saying that the elite have come out, all these billionaires, and said, we believe everything's a simulation, and we're trying to break free from the Matrix. Now, this is in the BBC. This is in the Associated Press today. In the last few years, it's come out with the UN and everybody else saying, an unknown force in the universe, dark matter, has been tracked by our radio telescopes, and it's much more powerful than even the real matter. And it appears to be artificial and being projected. We're learning this from the BBC, and we're learning it from all the atheists. You know, it was one of the main inventors of the different equations that gave us atomic power and weapons. He took a lot of it from Max Planck, but he perfected it. It was Einstein that said God does not play dice with creation. And a lot of these guys were atheists till they really got into the math and all of it. It was just so amazing. A lot of genetic engineers, and believe me, I'm not going to some fake church to get God. If that's God, then I don't believe in God. I get folks that are mad at religion and all this crap. But, you know, he said, no, there's definitely, as the Bible says, the proof of God, the handiwork of the heavens. But I'm not here to argue atheists versus, religion. Or, Christians versus Islam. I mean, give me a break. These are controlled constructs of men. Modern Christianity is not what Christ said at all. Modern Islam is what Muhammad said, but that's orthodoxy. What we're looking at here is scientists, billionaires, the leaders of our planet discovering God. Discovering the mystery, the majesty of this planet, and hundreds of billions of galaxies that have been chronicled, and trillions more that have just been found and not been chronicled, and orbiting the sun out in the universe. Our gods are not the politicians. Our gods are not the globalists. Our gods are not the New World Order. They're here to pretend like they know all the answers, but the deeper they go, it's in the headlines. Paul Watson did a report on it that billionaires are meeting in secret and believe we're in a false reality because top mathematicians and the computers are showing it. There's something deeper here, though. The truth is, they're advertising this is a false reality so that we'll accept alternate realities and alternate dimensions outside of the classical dimensional pretext of the 1st to the 12th. Where they can create false realities that we can opt into. I don't like this reality, so I choose the Matrix. I want to be famous in the Matrix. I want steak in the Matrix. I want to have a beautiful girlfriend in the Matrix. But it's a fake construct where you give up your will to a false system, so you ascend to a false godhood that is only a delusion. And so this is the great deception. I'm not accusing those that are involved in this discovery of the universe and God of being bad people. It's just that it was always there in the common teachings, the common sense, our DNA, what we knew in every culture. And they just, forgot all that brought us here and said that they've discovered the universe. And now they're going to be your tour guide into all these new dimensions, into all these new realities. Well, hell, writers back in the early 1980s with the movie Heavy Metal had figured this out when the green jewel or the devil says, my evil extends across all time, all galaxies, all dimensions. Look into my eyes one more time because my stories are almost over. This is another story. Let me give you the greatest secret I have ever revealed on air in 21 years. This is not a simulation. But your soul's a lot older than you think. That's why you have this sense of greatness. This is a test. You, just as Christ was projected down into his body to experience being human, and we're made in the image of God. I'm not saying we're Christ, but Christ was the greatest example of what humans are. Cells are round and rub up against each other and work together like molecules of water. Silicon is square and is cold-blooded and dead. Is programmed like a virus. They're building, the devil is building a silicon prison. We're round. I get more sophisticated, but we're round. We're cells. We rub together. We regenerate. We're all our ancestors before us living. We're the conscious spirit living. And we're what humans build into the future living. Everything comes in threes in God's creation. The truth is, the enemy knows this and is desperate and knows that humanity is transcending right now and is attempting to put us back into a prison and a cage. So Paul shot a very important report, and I wanted to get more into this for everybody. Secret billionaires think we're trapped inside a video game. No, that's their narrow vision, finally discovering there's an outside projection. And the establishment's trying to get us into their whole Times Square view of their false reality to swindle us into their false reality so that we don't go to the beach or the forest and transcend them. So we don't go back to the real universe of living organic things based on competition, based on love, based on passion, based on blood, and systems that regenerate themselves organically from the earth. It's a fight between organic and silicon. And our Creator is organic and has already been down the road of the silicon. In fact, our Creator is trying to re-experience its roots. And this is the secret all the fake churches and all the enemies are there to keep you from realizing. It's our choice now. The false reality, the false delusion of becoming gods in the matrix, or the long march up the true mountain of humanity, and the slow development into what we can become. Now you know why I tell you the atheists really aren't atheists. They don't want you to know about spiritual things. They want to keep you blind from it because that's the full spectrum of the dimensions around us. They don't want you knowing about those dimensions. They want you to enter their false dimension, a tiny prison within a larger universe. I choose freedom. I promote freedom. We'll cover this more tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central with a Friday transmission. If you're watching and listening to this, you're not just the resistance, you are consciousness. You must make your choice. Choose wisely.